Okay, well. Things are looking rough for our opponent right about now. Hello and welcome. My name is Stretch, and today we are going to be playing Azorius Control. First things first, I need to give a shout out to You Should Have Known 2015 on our spikes, because this is their invention. Right off the bat, there were a couple unique cards that you probably aren't going to see too often in other Azorius decks, at least the ones that are at the top of the meta right now. Some of the unique cards that we're going to be looking at are Skyclave Relic. And Skyclave Relic is extremely interesting in this deck because it allows you to go way over the top. It allows you to go over other blue decks. It allows you to have the mana in your bank to win those counter wars. One of the most important things that you're going to be seeing in this deck, though, is actually the synergy between Skyclave Relic and some of the other spells that we have that just completely wipe the board. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with Doomscar, but Doomscar only kills creatures. A huge part of this meta right now is things like enchantments. You're going to see like Sanguine Brushstroke. You're going to see Ranger class. You're going to see Planeswalkers. You're going to see Key to the Archive. These are all extremely common cards that Doomscar doesn't get to touch. Sure, you get to wipe the board and destroy the creatures, but you don't hit their acceleration, you don't hit their planeswalkers, and you don't hit things like treasures or the clues that we're going to be giving them with Fateful Absence. So, how do we get around that, or how do we make the most value? We use cards like Devastating Mastery and Onto Inversion. Devastating Mastery is a standout card in this deck, even if you pay the student cost, like you're going to see in one of the games that we played, I believe, Game 4 against Monogreen. The sheer delay that you cause and the ability to hit everything on the board all at once gives you an extreme amount of advantage. And now remember, every single sweeper that we have here, except for the tokens that we create with Sunset Revelry, is going to be completely one-sided because Skyclave Relic is indestructible. You can cast as many full wipes as you want, and your mana is still going to stay there, and you're not playing any creatures anyway, except for the chumps that you have of Sunset Revelry. Look at this dude. This dude exists to get pummeled in the head, and that's exactly what he's going to do for me. And if you play this deck, it's what he's going to do for you. Now, beyond that, we have lots and lots of counter spells, and one of my favorite things about this deck that I'm looking forward to so much is playing against the Dimir control, where they're going to be playing Leer and Hullbreaker Horror, because guess what? Hullbreaker Horror can be countered now. You don't just immediately lose that match. If Hullbreaker Horror tries to come down, you can Devious Cover-Up. You can Kindred Denial. One of the other things you're going to see here, too, is we are playing with the new nerfed version of Divide by Zero. But in the 10 games that I've played with this deck, the nerfed version of Divided by Zero, or only learning if the mana cost is 4 or less, has come up once. You typically are going to be bouncing things that cost 4 mana or less anyway. It doesn't matter. As far as Alchemy is concerned, this is barely a nerf. Now, that being said, there's a couple other entries in here. Gates of Isfel, usually an extremely, extremely slow land, and let's be honest, it is. And sometimes the deck does have issues where you're going to be pulling your Gates of Isfel, you're going to be pulling your Onto Inversions, you're going to be pulling your Hall of Storm Giants on turn 4 and 5, and you are going to be playing tap lands. There is, unfortunately, no doubt about it, and it's something that you're going to have to learn to live with this deck, but it usually doesn't matter. The key thing I've noticed about this deck is that if you can get to turn 7 or 8, you should be able to win every game. If you can claw your way past the intro, if you can get past those Ravenous Wolves and you can outvalue the Clerics, which, like I said, if you get to turn 7 or 8, should not be too hard to do, then this deck is an easy ride up. Now, in addition, we do have the usual suspects in the sideboard, Environmental Sciences, which you're going to be learning for a lot, and one of my favorite bizarre reactions with Environmental Sciences, and actually also Introduction to Prophecy, Annihilation, Mascot Exhibition, etc. When you shuffle them back in with Devious Cover-Up after you pull them using Discover the Formula, which will happen, you can get Environmental Sciences in particular down to a 0 mana cost. I've had games where Introduction and Prophecy has come down to a 0 mana cost. So it becomes a spell that you can just rip off the top, and for no casting cost at all, scry 2, draw 1. Free filtering. Environmental Sciences. Pull a basic land, gain some life. And the life gain in this deck is extremely important, which actually brings me back to the interesting inclusion of Spoils of Adventure. Now, you'll notice there is literally 0 party synergy in this deck. If you play Spoils of Adventure, you are playing it for 6 mana. I thought that was a weird inclusion. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it at first, but I have actually come to absolutely appreciate this card in this deck because it turns out gaining a bunch of life and drawing a bunch of cards is exactly what Azorius Control wants to be doing anyway, even without the party discount. Now, the reason why the creator of the deck did not actually include 4 Discover the Formulas and no Spoils of Adventures was because they noted that they didn't have the wild cards for it. So if you want to take out the spoils and play with 4 discovers, that's probably totally legit. That's going to be my next batch or next attempt at this deck. But that being said, this is our deck. Now let's go and play some games and see how it does. Two tests of talents. That's probably going to be a hard mole. This is a little bit better. Some interaction. Drop the Skyclave for early mana. A little bit of ramp. And Discover the Formula probably does not need to be in my main hand. I probably don't need that right away. Besides, we go first. How can we lose? Keep 6. Goodbye, Discover. And we're just going to go ahead and drop Deserted Beach first because there's nothing we can play anyway. Maybe our opponent will think that we're only playing a 2-lander or something. Ooh, that's cool art for the plains. What is this deck? I haven't seen Faithful Disciple. It's neat. We're still going to kill it. And I'm sure that's giving them a lot of value. I have no idea what you can draft with Faithful Disciple. But I haven't seen that played yet, and I don't know what we're going against. Yeah, so we'll drop blue and then drop Skyclave Relic. So we can actually go white. Go for another Skyclave Relic. See what they do. Maybe they have some sort of protection spell? I'm not sure. Is that a clerk? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll take the card draw. We'll foretell the Doom Scar. They're probably not going to crack clues here, but that's the cool thing too. Is if they end up dumping their turn, which I hope they do. Faithful Disciple. Okay. Yep. Gain you life. No. They got around my indestructible Skyclave Relic. That is actually a bummer. So that means we do have to Doomscar. And we're going to give them more card advantage. Well, I'll take my 3/3 token. Sigil of the Empty Throne. That's interesting. Devastating Mastery is gonna be a real wombo for that one. Oh, cool. That is so cool. I mean, it's gonna be really painful when I mastery them, but that's super cool. Oof. Oh, mamma mia. That's a rough one. Those were a couple cool turns, though, my dude. I mean, we're still Frank. Gosh, darn it. Hopefully, all right, hoping for an untapped land off the top. Otherwise, we're going to have to tap in our other undo. Okay, there we go. And is there any reason not to hold spoils? We'll do it on end step. That's proper form. don't know if they may have some sort of discard spell or something. Another Doomscar would be hilarious. Fire of Heroes. Yep, they're going all out. Can we survive one turn? I think we can. Taking my bumps. The Valkyrie? Yeah, get the Valkyrie, dude. As long as it's not an Ura. That's something that I would actually have to counter. Ura. Skyclave Hierophant. Ura. Skyclave Hierophant. Hope you got like a Righteous Valkyrie or something in your hand. Is that what it is? No, my token. Which I guess makes sense as to why they held it. I'm surprised they didn't want to play entirely into the sweep. But what are you going to do? How much mana does 6 mana? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can foretell. Okay. He was really anxious about it there for a second. Do I Doomscar over this? I don't think that I do. Although, were they really on only... They're also playing blue. So it's got to be for the Mimic or whatever it's called. Yeah, Glasspool. I'm not sure what you need to think about, my dude. All right. That is going to be denied. Ura's really it could get so much value. That's one of the cards that if you can counter it, you virtually almost always should. Although I kind of regret my pathway placement at the beginning. I know we had to do it to... yeah, we're just going to crack this. We're going to destroy some black lands. We need another blue. And it doesn't look like they're playing any man lands, so I'm not sure what we'd be waiting for here. Yeah. Alright, cool, dude. GG. Well played. Would really like to have another land here. It's risky, but we'll play it. the Clerics deck again. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, we'll play this. Tapped. Foretelling in the party deck. I wonder what that means. We have 5, they have 5, so that's not going to do it. Ooh, miss a land drop, that's rough. They don't give us anything else, we can just divide by 0 the angel. Foretelling again. I wonder if they're playing Haunting Voyage. That's the only thing that I can think of that they would be foretelling. And let's go to Plains. Interesting. So Sunset Revelry's really kind of showing its weakness here. Did we Devastating Mastery just to bounce both of those again? I don't think so. Let's see what we can hit with the Devious Cover-Up and see what they're trying to play. Forgotten Archangel. Yep, that's a Devious. So they're not playing... They're not playing Clerics, they're playing Angels. Which, that's fine with me. Tap land's better than no land. And... yeah, I think we keep it there. Creatureless Retribution. I'm going to deny that. 4 mana card's good for us too anyway. Yeah, might as well. I think full mana Doomscar may be the choice here. Ooh, Steinharm Aspirant. Alright. More mana. It's been tap lands all the way, but you know what? That's fine. We'll get our life, get our tokens. We can still divide by 0. Although the discount's kind of nuts here. Righteous Valkyrie. Yeah, that's fine. Save the Aspirant. Yeah, go for it. I mean, that's honestly probably the best use of Vanishing Verse that they have in their deck. So... what do we want to do here? Discover the formula, or... Discover the formula. We might be able to hit land. I'm assuming we're going to hit land off Spoils of Adventure, so that's probably what we should do. Yep, that was the call. One more down, so our Devastating Mastery can actually hit. Will this let me do what I want it to let me do? No, I think we just might have to Doomscar again and play further on. So, yeah, Doomscar. That, and I I think we just sit with Devious Cover-Up. Got to be really patient on the Discover the Form. Yep, Devious Cover-Up. We're not going to let that happen. Let's get our Environmental Sciences, another Devious Cover-Up. Actually, we don't need that. Spoils of Adventure, Divide, and Kindred Denial. It's important to sit back on your Discover the Formulas because they can, well, they're Discover the Formula's sick. Let's be real. There we go. And then we can Gates here. And doing Environmental Science for 1. Well, our Test of Talents is only 1. We might as well. And then we're just going to discard the land a turn. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, we just choose not to search. Okay, well. Things are looking rough for our opponent right about now. This is a hand. Let me tell you. Yep. Next thing we play, we'll be able to divide. We can start grabbing. You know, just time to start smacking them in the face. I'm expecting them to have a Vanishing Verse here. Power Word Kill. Alright. Go full control. Let them resolve that. Pay the 3. Now we're going to just Test the Talents that. Oof. Oof. Ooh. That was a rough one. Sorry about that, my dude. And this is a... this is a mulligan, for sure. This is a little bit better. What can we do without? Probably without the Devious Cover-Up. A little bit of early action. Sunset Revelry can put us up with some blockers. I wonder if we're going against Clerics. It certainly looks like Clerics. So, up the island and turn. Cleric of Life's Bond. Sure. This might be tough without a sweeper, and even with a sweeper, depending on if they get Ura in play, we might be in trouble. Though, let's see if they get their third land. They're thinking about it. Sequencing matters. They spiked for it. Ooh. I'll take one. Perfect draw. Lanes, Sunset Revelry. Get all modes. There's the Ura. This is going to be pretty tough here. Things are not looking that great. Yeah, we'll block one. We're only blocking one and we're not trading with the Lunarchs because we either need to catch them up with the sweeper or we lose anyway. So next, we pretty much have to hit a Doom Scar or we're done here. The Cleric stuff's pretty rough. It has, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is not going to do it. We might be able to survive one more turn. Oh, we're going to get a Devastating Mastery. So we may not be done yet, but things frankly look extremely grim. If they can remove the token, we're dead. If they can gain 1 life, they do. Yeah, you gain. What you gonna do? Alright, this guy is clearly a Dimir player. With his Nissa sleeves. He's clearly playing Hullbreaker Horror. Oh, cool. Arena's just doing arena things. Time me out. Time me out. Not so hot on this hand, but we can keep it. Even the student cost for Devastating Mastery is really, really, really good just as a tempo play. If they like go crazy wide on the board, you still get some destroys, but just resetting everything back to hand and pulling them back an entire turn can be worth it in and of itself. So we're going to hope we get there, although that is not likely to be the case. Yep, another wolf deck. Here we go. Although Sun and Pack Leader can hit for 1 or hit for 2, that's fine. Gives us something to do on turn 2 with Sunset Revelry. And then worst case scenario, we play Sky Relic on 3, and then we'll have Devastating Mastery up on 4. Yep, so that's fine. Sunset Revelry. 2 1/1s and 4 life. That's a lot of time. Or at least a little bit of time, hopefully. Sure. Is Divide by 0 as good as Devastating Mastery next turn? I don't think so. These Discover the Formulas are really kind of weighing our hand down, though, unfortunately. Ooh, playing something big. Cool. And they do get to draw, which is a bummer, but that's actually perfect. It's indestructible. Try and destroy it, please. Try and destroy it. Okay. Now, do we get greedy? No, we don't. Alright, pick up your 2 things. Everything else gets splatted. I'm assuming they're going to pick up Ren in the Pack Leader, and everything else goes. Yeah. And I think we just gotta take our bump. We'll get it on the head, and just gotta hope for the best next turn. 2 onto inversions. But also 2 divide by zeros. Yeah. Yep, play it all out. Play it all out. Come on, play your... Oh, wait, you can't play your Sculptor because it died. You have another 2-drop, right? Yeah, there you go. There's another Ranger class. That's perfect, dude. That is perfect. Do I have 7? I do have 7. Alright, yeah, you can hit me with Faceless Haven. And Fateful Absence is exactly what we ordered, although I don't think I foretell the Doomscar here. Yep, that went well. I was worried about a hexproof spell, but they didn't have it. And we're getting to the point where we're going to be able to start taking over here. Sculptor, Winter, no. Mascot Exhibition, yes. Nice try, Monogreen. Okay, so here we are in the post game, and right off the top, after 10 games, we went 50-50. Unfortunately, we did not have a whole lot of similar matchups. Throughout our play, you'll see the only deck that we played multiple times was Black and White Clerics, which we won 2 out of 3 times. So pretty solid going against the top deck in the meta and winning 2 out of 3. What you will notice, however, though, is that there are going to be games where the Wolves are going to come, you're not going to have a Doomscar, and they're just going to rip your face off. We're going to play games where Mono White just comes and drops in, and they beat you to death on turn 4, and you didn't pull one of your sweepers. And unfortunately, that's just what it's going to be. That's the issue with playing Control. But one of the things I will note is in all the games that we played, like I mentioned, if you get to turn 7 or 8, you will overwhelmingly likely win. This is a deck for grinding out. This is a deck for sitting back, having fun, grab yourself a cigar, grab yourself some cognac, and just laugh at people conceding to bizarre times when they're out of cards in their hand and you draw 14 off a Seagate Restoration. So if you like this deck, I hope you try it out on your own. It's been a lot of fun. Again, huge shout out to Should Have Known 2015 on Reddit. Check out our spikes if you're looking for some really good content. My name is Stretch. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next time.